The Trilateral Commission is not a myth. There's no conspiracy theory surrounding it. Jim Tucker of American Free Press has been covering the meetings of the Trilateral Commission for 25 years. But it's very interesting. A lot of people for years denied that there was a Trilateral Commission. They pretended that it was some sort of a conspiracy theory. But what it does indeed represent the interests of the international financial elite, particularly elements in the sphere of the Rockefeller family in particular. It's basically a creature of David Rockefeller and his banking empire. Now, what is most interesting to me about the Trilateral Commission is that back in the 1970s, there was a book issued under their imprimatur entitled The Crisis of Democracy. And while everybody else in the United States hails the idea of democratic government, the Trilateral Commission in this book, The Crisis of Democracy, suggests that there is actually too much democracy in the United States. They're concerned that the average American, the average man in the street, might be expecting too much from his government, might be expecting that he should have more power and influence than these special interests who are part of the Trilateral Commission. That alone should raise questions in the mind of the average American about the Trilateral Commission and what its intentions are. Unfortunately, those people who do talk about the Trilateral Commission and its malign influence are dismissed as conspiracy theorists, as fear-mongers, as anti-Semites even. But the fact is the Trilateral Commission exists, and it is anti-democratic, and again, for that reason alone, the average American should raise questions about it. That's why American Free Press reports on the activities of the Trilateral Commission, so that the average American does know something about the Trilateral Commission, and hopefully they will work to counteract its malign influence.
First thing you do, roll the old leg up and take the knee.
Exactly. He's also Trilateral Commission, which is David Rockefeller founded, and it was founded to basically fight back against the problem of democracy. That actually there was too much democracy. I'm not even lying.
No, I know you're not.
But there was basically too much democracy. It's a problem. And so the Trilateral Commission was created by David Rockefeller and others. Brzezinski, I think, was the other one.
Yeah.
To basically try and sort that out a little bit. This is the people are having a little bit too much fucking say, son. And Starmer, the working class geezer with a sir in front of his name, is a member of the Trilateral Commission.
And if you ask yourself what this era is, its crucial principle is undermining mechanisms of social solidarity and mutual support and popular engagement in determining policy. It's not called that. What's called is freedom.
I'm not in favor of fairness. I'm in favor of freedom. And freedom is not fairness. Fairness means somebody has to decide what's fair.
But freedom means subordination to the decisions of concentrated, unaccountable private power. That's what it means. Institutions of governance or other kinds of association that could allow people to participate in decision-making, those are systematically weakened. Margaret Thatcher said it rather nicely in her aphorism about there is no society, only individuals. She was actually, unconsciously no doubt, paraphrasing Marx, who in his condemnation of the repression in France said the repression is turning society into a sack of potatoes. That just individuals, amorphous mass, can't act together. That was a condemnation. For Thatcher, it's an ideal. And that's neoliberalism. We destroy, or at least undermine, the governing mechanisms in which people, at least in principle, can participate to the extent the society is democratic. So weaken them, undermine unions, other forms of association, leave a sack of potatoes, and meanwhile transfer decisions to unaccountable private power, all in the rhetoric of freedom. Well, what does that do? The one barrier to the threat of destruction is an engaged public, an informed, engaged public, acting together to develop means to confront the threat and respond to it. And that's systematically weakened for people to become more passive and apathetic and not to disturb things too much. And that's what the neoliberal programs do. So put it all together and what do you have? A perfect storm.